Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is April the 27th, 2021. Let's go ahead and get started. So, first things first, we're going to look at the ES futures. Remember, when I'm talking about this and showing you a blueprint, every 10 points equals $1 in the SPY. We will be going over the SPY just here in a few minutes as well. So, ES futures doing exactly what we were expecting, has moved up so far from the inside and up formation and staying above the 9 EMA here on the weekly. And as we push after yesterday's small, very sideways move, I would expect some continuation to the upside. Notice we were getting close to this red box. I don't want you to be too concerned about the red box because we made this out of fib extensions. We do not have candle structure to the left, so it's okay if we push into the red box here, especially before earnings. What I'll be looking for today, let's go ahead and drop it down into a 4 hour. If you're wondering why I'm paying attention to the futures, this is my guide on what I want to do with my equity holdings or my stock holdings and so forth. So far, we have this nice little pivot high here, but it is a topping wick. And because we have that topping wick, we know there's a little bit of selling pressure up in this area. Basically, this is my plan. If we can get above 41.93, I'll add into my current positions. And as we approach 41.97, this is a level that I gave to our members in December. So this was a projected target for our longer term positions here at 41.97. All right. So once we get here, I'm going to go ahead and draw out what I'd like to see. If we make a high this morning on a 4 hour candle, I want to see it come back and test at or around this 41.97 and then higher highs off of this level, and we'll continue to melt up into this. Now, I want you to be aware that tomorrow on Econ or Market Watch, Thinkorswim, we have FOMC announcements and we have the SOTU. So very, very important as these will be catalysts to move price temporarily. When I say temporarily, what I want you to do is pay attention to the overall trend. So the overall trend is extremely bullish, all right? And so I want to stay on the right side of the trend, but I understand that there will be small catalysts that pull back price into levels of support. Talking about support, line in the sand at around 41.81 all the way down to 41.67 is support for today. So as long as price holds in here, then we are okay to continue the trend. But again, bulls do need the higher high. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY and look at our ETFs for today. All right, so here we are. Everybody knows that I like to use the neutral strategies on the SPY, the Qs, DIA, and IWM. We've already made some money here on IWM as we took the trade. If you would look all the way to the right of my screen, so right in this area. We took the trade yesterday on the break of the neutral. We have hit T1 so far at 228.09. What I would like to see this morning is that we can hold this 228 level or the 4 hour 9 EMA. Okay, so on open, let's see if we flush a little bit, hit that 9 EMA, and then continue higher. What I'd like to see, just like the ES, is a higher high. And then my targets here are 229.61, 231.34. If for some reason we start to break below that 9 and we head back towards the 226.69, you could see price come into 225.36. Okay, so again, on my side, as far as bulls are concerned, as long as 228 can hold this 9 EMA, looking for further continuation into 229 at 231. Here on the DIA, we are neutral. So what do I do during a neutral strategy? I do nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this keeps me from making a lot of mistakes. So obviously I would not be going long until we can move over the 341.66. Now what happens if we start to break down? Overall, the bullish trend here is extremely bullish. So really, I don't want to be shorting when we're in earnings season and everybody else is showing some sort of life here. All right. So I'll just ignore this, and really at the end of the day, I want to see if price can close this week above this 341.66. Moving over here to the Qs, into the NASDAQ, we are set up, and what I'll be looking for on open, all right, is to see if we get just a tiny little pullback, all right? And again, I'd like to draw this out. If for some reason we get a little pullback here, of course, I'll be watching the 9. If this comes up here, we find some support. I'll wait. I'll be patient, just like IWM yesterday. Took me a little while, or on the SPY, sorry, over here. So as soon as this breaks here, then I'll be in that position looking for 344.06. Now, obviously, we have some big earnings this week, and so the dynamics or the it will have a big result on the Qs. So just, because of that information, just understand this might break over this morning and we'll start to take this trade, but we do have earnings coming up after hours and so forth that could definitely dramatically affect the movement in here. We could see a big push or we could see a big pullback there. Either way, I like it over 341.99. It's a 344.06. Over here on the SPY, what you're looking at is a remainder of a position that I took yesterday. I took it over the break of the 418.22 level, and there took some profits. Up here, it was, I believe it was a medium or a large position, and then I just left 3 of them on here. And the way that I had this set up is I'm going to stay long unless I get stopped out below the 415 level that I have here on the low neutral. So overall sentiment for today into today's information. Um, I'm extremely bullish. It looks really good. DIA is off limits for me right now, but everything else is showing some signs of life. I love that we're coming back and testing what was resistance, trying to find out if that's going to be support. So you can see that on IWM at my target. You can also see that the Qs are trying to break above that 341.99, and on the SPY. If you notice, if you've been watching me long enough, you know these yellow lines are what we call trendy edges. It was resistance when price is under, and now it's just simply pulled back this morning, testing it to see if it is support. Um, be very, very cognizant of this right here. I want to show you formations. Price has moved like this. Okay, we created what would be the high, and this morning, some and most things have just pulled back just a tad. So on open, we might make this attempt to come back up. And what you want to see, we'll just draw like a blue line here, go across just like this. What you want to see is that price can actually make a new high, come back to test this previous high, and then make highs off of that. Okay, this is a very good sign. If we could do that, then we will follow the trend to the upside. If we cannot get above this high, all you need to do is go set an alert that's going to ding once price goes over that line. Right? There's no sense of sitting here watching it, getting worked up about every little candle. Not important. All right, bigger picture always. Okay, so again, SPY, Qs, DIA, IWM. I'm currently in IWM and SPY. Looks like I'll probably be triggered here for my QQQ position as we open up. All right, so back to some good stuff here. Let's go ahead and look at SKLZ. Now, current position is about 90% or so. It's pulling back a little bit. This is my blueprint for SKLZ. All right, and I believe we got in somewhere down here towards the bottom. It broke the cloud on a 4-hour, went sideways for a little bit. We finally got that breakout, and we are getting closer to the trendy edge, the blue line. Now, the blue line is derived from a higher time frame, Fibonacci, supply and demand, all that good stuff. Okay, so it's very, very powerful and strong. Notice that when price came lower on the curve to this blue line, this is where we found buyers. As we approach higher on the curve, this is where we typically will find sellers or just a pause in price movement. Now, what I'm looking for this week, for the rest of the week, we do have a longer term position in this, is that this level in here can hold. So basically above 1750 looks good for consolidation for a move higher. If for some reason we get surprised, just like yesterday, kind of comes out of nowhere, and this flag builds, okay, and we get the break into the trendy edge, simply 2215 is resistance. Look for it to hold here for 1 to 2 days, and then we will see continuation. I will tell you that my target itself is up here towards $34. Okay, so it's SKLZ. All right, let's go ahead and cover SQ or square. All right, so Square, this current position I believe is just over 50%. We do have quite a bit of time in it as well. We do have earnings coming up. And if you just kind of scroll over this little red dot here, it is 5.6. So coming up pretty soon. What we were looking for here is a nice little earnings run. We got that. Yesterday, I trimmed for profits, then I trimmed for flat, then I trimmed for profits, and then I kept some on. I took a larger position in this. And what I'll be looking for today as if price kind of holds this gray box, all right, then I'll be looking to add into the position here. So again, let's go ahead and draw it out. If for some reason we pull back a little bit, I want you to pay attention to the 9 EMA, okay? If it digs in deep and it comes here, doesn't matter if it makes it here. The box is really what my focus is. If we start to reclaim out of that box, I'll go ahead and add, and I will feel really good if we make higher highs, and then we could see a nice push into this box here. That's giving you 261 by 268. The box below, 255.28 by 251.15. So this area in here is somewhat of a neutral, but when it comes in, wait for the reclaim, and then I'll be looking for a price to move towards 261. That's SQ. All right, so another one that I did not mention is going to be GME. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at gain. All right, so I had a projection here. I have a good friend who really got deep into this, made a couple $100,000 on this, and very excited for him. But he just does not want to let it go, right? So he's made money on options, but he's still holding shares and so forth. And so I've always been interested, and I'll give updates and so forth. And from a higher time frame, I just want to show you really quick. All right, everything that we have forecasted has worked on this. But I want you to notice that we are making lower highs and higher lows. It's a sideways trend, all right? We have our edges, we have our levels, and as you can see, when price got lower on the curve, right towards this blue line, we started to find buyers. Then as price pushed up into about 61.8%, 72% of the high, we pull back. That's normal. And then right now, we're right here. All right. Notice that right here at the trendy edge, we started to find buyers. So our projected move is towards the red arrow. Once we get above this red arrow, my price target is 317. Let's go ahead and jump into a 4-hour, and you can see the red arrow, we call it the decelerator, is doing exactly what it says. It is resistance until proven otherwise. My target, if we can move above this 194.91, I want to go ahead and set an alert if it gets close. So I'm going to create alert at or above, just like that. And then right down here, notice that our lower time frame trendy edge, right there, is confluent with the 9 EMA on the 4-hour. So I'm going to go ahead and create an alert at or below. And really, this entire area right here between these two alerts are neutral. I don't need to do anything. I'm more interested if we break above this 194.35. All right, if we start breaking above there, I'm looking, and guess what? Just like Square, all right, and the room knows what I'm talking about. Just like Square, I'll be looking for this target up here, buying a little bit of time, looking for a run. If you want something shorter term, if we could break that 195 level, I'm looking for 253. All right, and as long as we can hold the 170 level, things do look good on GME. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. I went ahead and I gave you a chart here on Twitter. Also gave the members here a chart on Bitcoin months ago, and you can see that these continue to work very, very well. You can look at news, you can, buy the hype, listen to the fear, but if you can just learn a nice process with good levels, you don't need any of that. Absolutely none of it. So we had the green box here and we had the red box. This is before any news, before anything is said. And basically, we look to start slowing down anything that's related to Bitcoin. All right. And then we start to get excited and buy more into the green level. Okay. So as you can see, the green worked. It reclaimed, all right, above that 51.32. And here we are moving just into the cloud on the 4-hour. So there's certain names, right, that are kind of tied to this. GPTC, Mara, You pick it. All right. And what you want to see, as long as Bitcoin is moving out of this green box here, you're looking at those type of stocks. This is what we call AC/DC move. I will tell you this, if 53,566 can hold, I'm looking for a move into 59,435. Okay, simple as that. All right, so other than that, I believe, let's see if we want to go over anything else here. We went over skills. Let's look at Etsy really quick. I have position in Etsy. Unfortunately, they were downgraded yesterday, and the position itself is down. Let's see. Let's move this into unallocated, 25%. So not bad, except for time is against me. It expires next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. So the reason I have not closed yet is because I already had a predetermined loss. I'm watching it. It's making higher lows still. It's within the rails. It's lower on the curve on the weekly. And if this 203 can hold, I would expect it to start moving back up towards the 215 level. But we'll see how much impact the downgrade had on it. I will tell you this, because we have earnings here, and then we get a downgrade, it makes sense to me because there could be demand for this stock before earnings. So analysts come out, they downgrade it, price could come into an area of demand, and then you see price start to rocket back up towards earnings. So they got their fills, they're happy, and they expect a big move. All right, we'll see what happens. Let's go over here to Tesla. They also had a report. This will be the final thing I look at this morning. And it's pretty much sideways, right? Nothing's changed, really. There was a report, and it's like purgatory for Tesla. It's absolutely been sideways, pretty boring. If you look at it from a curve perspective, these are trendy levels here. We're right in the middle. All right, and as they say, don't diddle in the middle. That would not pertain to me. I've absolutely tried to hit Tesla week after week, and it just doesn't do anything. All right, so selling spreads probably the smarter thing here. Of course, I was going for the upside. That's not working out. What do I think about today? I'll tell you. I feel like this could be a buy the dip scenario. Um, the bigger picture, 667 holds. I still expect 836. Okay, 667 holds. I expect 836. All right, so good luck to everybody. I'll probably pop on here and trade live right before open. So that's still going to be a good hour and 15 minutes or so. We'll see you then, and have a good day.